Head coach Stephanie White said today that Clark has been doing limited work with the team in practice, but is not yet participating in all the drills. You see her practicing here from today. She added that the team has plans for Clark, but they aren't going to be taking any chances with their superstar.
The WNBA's brightest star, Caitlin Clark, suddenly vanished. In the middle of a season she had single-handedly transformed. The unstoppable force who was rewriting record books and selling out arenas was abruptly removed from the court. The official story pointed to an injury, a routine setback for any athlete. But whispers from inside the league told a different, more disturbing story. This wasn't about a strained muscle. It was about a silent war. What could possibly force the most valuable player in women's basketball to take a stand? The answer lies not on a medical report, but in a toxic controversy the WNBA is desperately trying to ignore.
I know Caitlin was supposed to be reevaluated this weekend. Was she cleared to return to basketball activities?
I don't know if cleared is the right word. I mean, we're ready to start ramping back up and make sure, it's completely different when you're just doing one-on-one workouts and when you're out there in 5-on-5, getting up and down the floor, moving laterally. So she's been allowed to do some practicing, not everything. And we're gonna be smart and we're gonna be cautious and we're gonna play the long game and work her back in very intentionally.
Performance tonight, and we got blown out in this game. It was a horrible.
The conflict ignited during what should have been a standard, hard-fought game between the Indiana Fever and the Atlanta Dream. The air in the arena was electric, with every possession feeling like a battle. Caitlin Clark, as usual, was the focal point, her every move tracked by defenders and tens of thousands of eyes. The game was a powder keg of physicality and tension, building toward an explosive finish. But the moment that would define the night didn't happen with the ball in play. It happened on the sidelines, after Atlanta's star center, Britney Griner, was forced to exit the game with her sixth foul. Visibly furious, Griner stormed toward the bench, her frustration boiling over. And in that moment, the cameras caught something that would overshadow any final score.
That we were talking about earlier today.
And it doesn't take a lot of genius to lip read Britney Griner, whose voice, by the way, is about as low as mine is, calling her trash and an effing white girl. Now, of course, if Caitlin Clark had ever suggested the same in reverse, using black as opposed to white in that sentence, that'd be the end of her WNBA career. But Britney Griner is going strong. It's totally fine.
Clark has been picked on and abused ever since she entered the league in 2024. And now Britney Griner is joining in on the action, saying that she is an effing white trash white girl because after she fouled out, she decided to take her anger and frustration.
As Griner took her seat, her anger was directed squarely at Clark. In an instant, the footage went viral. Online sleuths and professional lip readers froze the frame, analyzing every nuance of her expression. The consensus was immediate and damning. Griner appeared to mouth the word trash, followed by a vicious, now infamous phrase, an effing white girl. The clip spread like wildfire across social media, and a firestorm of outrage erupted. Fans were disgusted. Analysts were stunned. What should have been a story about a close game had morphed into a deeply unsettling public relations nightmare, centered on an ugly verbal attack against the league's most prominent player.
It's been over 2 weeks since Griner said this. Instead, the WNBA was investigating a bogus race hoax made up by Angel Reese about Indiana Fever fans. And I say bogus because they found no evidence that supports Angel Reese's claim.
Look, I don't know for sure what was going on with what cameras caught Britney Griner saying on the bench after she had fouled out against Caitlin Clark's Fever in Atlanta. I waited to comment on this until the WNBA was able to investigate it. I wanted them to issue a statement about it, but we have heard nothing from the WNBA, absolutely nothing. And Britney Griner has not commented, which I find significant.
With a crisis of this magnitude, featuring two of its biggest names, a swift and decisive response from the WNBA was expected. But what followed was a deafening, unnerving silence. Days turned into weeks, and the league office issued no statement, announced no investigation, and levied no punishment against Griner. This inaction became even more shocking when contrasted with the league's recent history. Just weeks prior, the WNBA had launched a massive 2-week-long investigation after Chicago Sky forward Angel Reese claimed she heard offensive chants from Indiana Fever fans. The league publicly announced the inquiry, dedicating significant resources to reviewing audio, video, and interviewing staff. When they found no evidence to support the claims, they issued a formal statement clearing the fans. The message was clear. The WNBA took such allegations seriously. Yet, when faced with video evidence of one of its veteran stars directing what many considered a racial slur at its rookie phenom, the league did nothing. This glaring hypocrisy exposed a disturbing double standard at the very heart of the organization, suggesting that justice in the WNBA is not blind, but selective.
On the WNBA's website, it said that Caitlin Clark and Sophie were both game time decisions for tomorrow's game. Stephanie White shut that down pretty immediately. She was like, no, they need to ramp up. We're playing the long game. Yes, they did things here and there, but we don't want to aggravate things and make them any worse. She talked about Sophie Cunningham's ankle, and she said that this is an injury that she has aggravated a couple of times, so they're not going to push it. And the same thing with Caitlin. She's like, we want to see them ramp up. There is a difference between obviously practicing and then being in those game time situations. So it seems like her mindset and the training staff's mindset is we are thinking of the long term when it comes to these two players. So we definitely will not see.
As the league continued to look the other way, Caitlin Clark was about to make a move of her own, one that would speak louder than any press release. Despite being medically cleared to ramp up her activities and return from a minor quad injury, Clark made a stunning decision. She informed the Indiana Fever coaching staff that she would not play in the upcoming rematch against the Atlanta Dream. Officially, the team cited caution, stating they were playing the long game. But sources close to the team whispered a different story. Clark, who had built a reputation on her toughness and had never missed a game for injury in her entire college career, was making a stand. Her absence wasn't just about recovery. It was a silent, calculated protest. It was a direct message to the league office. If you won't enforce your own standards of conduct, your biggest star will. The decision stunned the sports world and set the stage for a dramatic showdown.
They played pretty good in the first half. It was a tie game. It was 33-33. But they just fell apart in the third quarter because they're missing something. You know what they're missing? Do you know what they're missing? I'll tell you who they're missing. This is who they're missing. They're missing her bad, and it shows, okay?
How are we going to sell tickets if Caitlin's out for 2 weeks? Can she just play on crutches? I'd rather watch that than Britney Griner. I know Caitlin's injured, but at least we have other stars in the league who people like to watch. Like, fuck.
Without Clark, the Indiana Fever didn't just lose, they utterly collapsed. The team that had been competitive and dynamic with their rookie leader on the floor looked lost and anemic. The final score was a brutal testament to her absence. Atlanta Dream 77, Indiana Fever 58. The 19-point blowout was more than just a loss. It was a complete system failure. The 58 points marked the Fever's lowest offensive output since 2017, a humiliating setback that exposed just how critical Clark was to their entire operation. The statistics told a chilling story. With Clark, the Fever averaged 88 points per game. Without her, that number plummeted to the second lowest in the league. To add insult to injury, the star of the game for Atlanta was none other than Britney Griner. While Clark sat on the sidelines in protest, Griner dominated the court, playing a pivotal role in her team's suffocating defense and victory. The optics were a nightmare for the WNBA. The alleged offender thrived, while the victim, and the league's biggest draw, was silenced.
Caitlin Clark's injury is tanking WNBA ticket prices. The star Indiana Fever guard suffered a quad injury and is expected to miss at least 2 weeks. This comes on the heels of the WNBA and other teams moving games into larger arenas to accommodate Caitlin's fans. And as sports fans, I think we all know that Caitlin Clark is the most popular women's basketball player. In fact, she might be one of the most popular female athletes in the entire world. Ever since she burst into the national consciousness, women's basketball has experienced a rise in popularity.
This single game ripped the curtain back on a truth the WNBA could no longer hide. The league's recent surge in popularity isn't about the league itself. It's about the Caitlin Clark effect. Her presence has become an economic engine, single-handedly elevating the WNBA from a niche sport into a mainstream spectacle. Games featuring Clark draw viewership numbers 3 to 4 times higher than those without her. Ticket prices have skyrocketed, and teams are moving games to larger NBA arenas just to accommodate the demand she creates. Her absence, even for a single game, isn't just a competitive disadvantage for the Fever. It's an economic earthquake for the entire league. Television networks, sponsors, and investors have all poured money into the WNBA on the back of her star power. Her silent protest revealed just how fragile the league's newfound success really is. It's built on the shoulders of one woman, and the league's failure to protect her is not just a moral failing, it's a catastrophic business miscalculation.
Come, no one wants to watch a game now. Angel Reese said the WNBA was popular because of her. Why are the views dropping? She said she was popular. How can we get people to watch? I don't even watch. To make the game more popular, we're gonna let fans bet on Angel Reese missed layups per game. Right now, the over-under is at 25.
The WNBA is the most poorly ran organization in America, straight up. Without the NBA giving their yearly donation, this league would have folded years ago. And that's the part that bothers me about the organization, the owners, the players. This inflated ego, thinking, oh, we built this. You didn't build nothing. You're just getting by the NBA charity check. And with this mentality, they have these inflated egos, and they're stuck in their ways. They think their way is the right way. This is going to be successful, and failed for decades. Finally, a player that's worth paying the money for, Caitlin Clark, comes along. What do, WNBA? You beat her up. You treat her like crap.
This explosive incident may not have been a one-off moment of frustration, but rather the boiling point of a sustained campaign of hostility. Basketball analysts and keen-eyed fans have pointed to a troubling pattern of aggression directed at Clark since she entered the league, much of it coming from Britney Griner herself. Despite playing different positions, video footage from their matchups reveals a recurring theme of unusually hard screens, excessive physical contact, and what many describe as deliberate targeting tactics. In games against Clark, Griner's foul rate is significantly higher than her season average, suggesting a strategy that goes beyond simple aggressive play. This pattern of on-court aggression, combined with the alleged verbal altercation, paints a picture of deep-seated resentment from established veterans toward the rookie who has stolen the spotlight. This wasn't just a slur. It was a symptom of a much larger, more toxic problem brewing just beneath the surface of the league.
Who is going to give Caitlin Clark their quad? Because if I go one more week without her playing, I will genuinely lose it. I will lose it. So someone, I guess I'll do it. I'll take one for the team. Cece, if you're watching this, you can have my quad. You can have my ACL. You can have the whole,
my leg.
You can have my wife's leg, okay? I'm sick of it. And I'm glad, like, she's on the sideline. She's cheering. She's at the Pacers game on the floor. Cool. Live your life, Cece. I'm ready to see you back on the court. It's time to get back to the courts.
The WNBA is now standing at a critical crossroads, and its next move will define its future. The controversy has spiraled far beyond a single incident, exposing deep-seated issues of player conduct, league hypocrisy, and a dangerous over-reliance on a single star. The evidence continues to mount, from viral video clips, scathing media commentary, and relentless public pressure, all demanding accountability. For the league to maintain any semblance of integrity, it must act. A transparent and rigorous investigation, equal to the one launched for far less, is no longer optional. It is essential. The league must scrutinize not only the alleged slur, but the entire pattern of aggressive conduct that has put its most valuable asset at risk. Will the WNBA choose to protect its golden goose and uphold the values of sportsmanship it claims to champion? Or will it allow internal jealousies and toxic resentment to fester, potentially driving away the very player who holds the key to its survival? The world is watching, and the clock is ticking. The future of a billion-dollar enterprise rests on what it does next.